Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start we never have a subject matter. We speak about anything. Politics, religion, social issues, or any issue of the day. But most important, you can introduce your own topic. And you can interrupt us at any time. Take us. We're in the heart of Lent. Today is Tuesday, is the fourth week in Lent. In addition to that, I think today is also Down Syndrome Day. You have to recognize that this world is like a big flowers garden. You have different flowers. And that all these things that help to make the garden good and unique. So we will always have people and children with different challenges. But we must be tolerant. We must be compassionate. We must learn to empathize and to be sensitive to the needs of others. You don't have to know somebody to help them. Somebody do not have to be your family or friends or from the same church, organization, or political organization with you to be sensitive, to be compassionate, and to empathize. During these seasons of Lent, people are encouraged to make sacrifice, to do penance, and to give alms, to be generous to others, and re-examine ourselves and make certain we're on the right trajectory. And today is a good time, perhaps, to look at us. You can give me a call. The number to call is 442-0175. But I'm also encouraged to remember that we live in a small country, 110,000 people. Our population has not risen in any significant way in the last 78 years. We always speak about we have 110,000 people. We have had serious migration throughout our history. Grenadians, because of political reason, had a justification to leave Grenada and go. When the British took over from the French, over 10,000 Grenadians make it to Trinidad. That is why some Grenadians would say it's them that start Carnival. During Federal Rebellion, some Federal general was hanged in St. George's. And a number of people escaped to Trinidad again. Trinidad has been one of the countries that absorb a lot of Grenadians. Guyana, in the days of BG planting. Aruba, the days of the oil. And you'll find Grenadians in much of the other smaller islands like St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. Kitts. A number of Grenadians went to Antigua into the police force. And then to the United States and up the islands. So we have always had a reason for Grenadians to move. During the revolution, 3,000 to 4,000 Grenadians left Grenada within 4.5 years. Well, that was the best time for the job market because overnight, Maurice Bishop solved unemployment problem. He jailed 3,000 and 3,000 to 4,000 had to flee the country. And automatically unemployment dropped by about 7,000 people. In the 70s, we only could have referenced the activities, the policy, the attitude, and the excesses of Eric Matthew Gary. So when we speak in the 70s, we only could have blamed Gary. Because in truth and in fact, there was nothing significant before. So irrespective of the advances that Gary made, the excesses overshadowed it. Like Caesar, The evil that men do leave after them, but the goods are interred with the bones. Then we had the revolution. And then we realized Eric Gary was a saint. When you compare the excesses of Eric Gary with the excesses of the coup d'etat experiment, what we call the revolution, Eric Gary became a saint. We had interim period. And Pete Mitchell and George Bizan and all the others. So we have a lot to able to reference and compare today. We're not supposed to be making the mistakes of yesteryear. But I think today in our society, if we are not careful, we're turning back the hand of the clock. And that should not happen. After Eric Gary came and built 28 schools in 13 and a half years, pre-primary school, kindergarten, St. George's University, technical education, independence, land for the landless program, Expo 69, Easter Water Parade, etc., etc., etc. We must not turn back the hand of the clock. Today's society, the government of Grenada, have introduced political victimization as part of the policy, and that is not acceptable. It is not acceptable. We have too much a history to be making the blunders that we made in the 70s and the 80s. Grenadians not supposed to accept. With 110,000 people, a government comes in and put a ministry of victimization. The MT ministry is there for victimization purposes. Andy Williams is just being used because he's considered as a patriotic bourgeois based upon the teachings of Maurice Bishop. He's used. And this ministry is for mischief purposes. The Prime Minister said in Togo, we campaign a policy of transformation, but it is not so much transformation, it is restorative justice. No one takes him to task. He needs to explain what it means. It's either the Prime Minister was telling a pile of lies in Tobago, or the National Democratic Congress told a pile of lies about transformation. Both of them cannot be right. The Prime Minister said it is not so much transformation, but restorative justice. Maurice Bishop jailed 3,000 Grenadians, castrated individuals, and committed the worst crimes in Grenada after slavery and colonialism. Nobody asked for restorative justice. They asked for forgiveness, reconciliation. They even set up a commission to have reconciliation. Oh no! In 2022, 2023, the Prime Minister of Grenada, who is Deacon Mitchell, could be advocating restorative justice. This is unacceptable. This is wrong. This is turning back the hand of the clock. Yes, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Yeah. You're saying that this Prime Minister is lying, eh?
He's lying. Lies. It's not
so
only lying.
Culture.
When you say somebody is lying, the Prime Minister sat down with people and planned to tell lies. That is a pile of lies.
I think give me a chance to let I talk.
Go ahead.
And then you will talk.
Go ahead.
Yeah, see, the Prime Minister lying. So what I want you to do now, we're not having a fight or a quarrel today. I wanted to play the clips on him if you have it. Where the former Prime Minister, Dr.
I don't play clips on my program.
He's going pause. He lied to the
I
people.
don't play clips on my
about
program.
The island gas. He lied to the people again. The project Oklahoma. He lied to the people again when the tourist boat came there. The tourist them came from the tourist boat that he will have the helicopter taking them to Liberia and back wherever, and then that they will be going up back on the ship. Why you don't play the clips on them?
I don't play culture man.
I want
Culture man.
to remember.
Culture man.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
I do not culture man. I do not play clips on my program.
Okay.
Culture man.
But you
Culture man.
every day.
Culture man.
Yeah.
Are you saying because the previous government lie, this government right to lie?
Well, I did not hear. He lied.
Then listen to
lie.
Culture man.
The lie is the truth.
Culture man.
The truth is, yeah.
If you want to hear clips, listen to the program of the extension on Fridays. Listen to Political Wednesdays. Listen to Sheldon Scott. Monday to Thursday. I don't play clips on my program. But if you want to challenge me, you could do that.
No, I don't challenge you.
So you not challenge me, but you, and this is why the Prime Minister now should not be doing that, because other leaders before have made mistakes. So we're not supposed to make the mistake that have been made yesterday.
What did he mistake and what did he do and what he
let me tell you what he did. The Prime Minister went into Tobago and they asked him about transformation. And he said, we campaign, it is true, we campaign on a policy of transformation. But it is not so much transformation, it is restorative justice. And that is a serious issue. It means that somebody have done you wrong before. So now you want to get even in local parlance. And I don't agree with the government having political victimization.
Well, we mediated this come from the former Prime Minister.
That is why Culture man.
Mr. Pierre, don't look on one side, man.
Culture man.
Sleeping on one side.
Culture.
Yes.
When you used to go to school, you know they used to turn we hide. They used to beat us in we back. They used to say if we bleed, we bleed. Would you do children that today?
No, well then, they never told me that if I bleed, I bleed.
Well, Culture, you was a very bright boy in school, so you never get lashed.
They might tell you that.
Yes, if I get
don't hang up because issue again.
Well, culture man.
Yeah.
When you have issue, you must ask me question. You must say what you want to say and ask your question long.
Okay.
Listen to me, Culture. You call programs regularly. Say what you want to say first and ask your question last. Go ahead.
Alright. No, I think I can't remember it was after Ivan or before Ivan. The former Prime Minister, Dr. Michel, I think if it was the Prime Minister, I can't remember it was Chambers, one of them, give us a Coast Guard. The former Prime Minister, Dr. Michel, he did not take it. He refused that he collect the 18,000 instead. Where is it? He said that he will buy the Coast Guard. Where is it? Grenadian plane forget. Grenadian plane forget. Grenadian plane forget. Have a good day, Mr. Pierre.
Okay, Culture. Okay, Culture man, good. You see, that's what is sad about Grenada. We have enough past evidence, so we don't make the mistakes we make in the past. The Prime Minister of Grenada told a pile of lies. And he went to Tobago. And while he made Grenadians believe that the policy is transformation, the policy that is existing now is restorative justice, detoxification, and sanitization. Yes, caller, welcome. Go right ahead, caller. Welcome.
I'm just doing that to distract you, Mr. Pierre. They're paying Culture Man to do what he doing.
No, I don't think.
To distract you on the radio. Culture Man just want to distract you and he's saying long, and want to distract you. That he want to do. But they're paying him to do that.
All right, thank you, caller. Nobody is paying Culture. And they should pay Culture. But they're not paying Culture. Culture trying to defend a party that is doing a lot of wrong things. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Culture Man, the reason why the Prime Minister didn't take the Coast Guard, Grenada was in so much at debt and had no money to pay civilians. So instead of taking the Coast Guard to stop the people, he take the money to feed the people. You understand, Culture Man? So get your facts right. Remember, the government bring Grenada right down to the bottom. We didn't have money to pay civil servants and to run the country. So in taking the Coast Guard was a waste of time. We take the money to help the people in Grenada.
Yes, caller, thank you. You see, we cannot absolve ourselves from blame. We could have done it in the 70s. Yes, caller, welcome. Go right ahead.
Go right ahead. When you hear you pick up a program, you pick up people, just correcting the whole system. You check it out? People coming on the radio without nothing what they don't understand. They don't understand what they think. Somebody get them in the rum shop and they coming on the radio with it. They don't fucking think what they know, you know. The bill now, Mr. Pierre. I want you to give me a bill now what they're talking about there. The bill what they're talking about there, Mr. Pierre, the bill is not when they want it. That same, I want to know if that day in the bill now, if he didn't have that in the referendum. What they're talking about there now? I want to know if they didn't have it in the referendum. Because you cannot take in a bill and want to... I hear a man call on the radio this morning and talking about the previous government have it there and it didn't pass it. You just can't take things. Remember, they don't vote for themselves, you know. When you hear you put a government in power, they have to please the people. Don't please themselves. This is what we have to do. Please the people. Don't please yourself. So when you're doing something, you have to make the people know what you do. And if you're going to please the country, because people are going where nobody, they don't go there by themselves. It's the people put you there. So when the people put you there, you have to hear from the people what you're doing in the country. Everybody cannot sitting down and throwing things in your throat. A lot of people cannot, just like some of us cannot read, so we have to get understanding. You check it out? We have to get understanding. We're going to do that. And if you find that is right, and you find that going to make sense, and it's going to save you from XYZ. I hear a man come on the radio station this morning and saying, saving people, if you go at the doctor medication, the thing what the doctor do, he go and tell someone. The doctor has to know he's a confidential person. He cannot take your secret and go and give it to somebody else, more than only if he put it in there and the secretary read it out of it. But you can go and tell me what you're telling me. These people are never to know what they're doing and what they're doing. And when you hear, you pick up your friend. Don't have to sit down all this long time on the program for your friend, because this is your friend. If you do wrong, you find it right. So we don't work with that. This 1 hour thing you have, and let me work, let everybody get something to say.
Yes, caller.
And do what they have to do.
Yes, thank you. You know what is sad about this bill? Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, Punch.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, go right ahead.
What you do?
Good, man.
Yeah. Let me clarify something. In 2018, when Dr. Mitchell was in pause and he made the statement that we found oil, he also made other statements that Nawasa will give $18 million to do some works all over the island. I want to ask Culture Man, if you've not seen Nawasa opening plants all over the island, if you've not seen infrastructure work being done all over the island with that same $18 million, Culture Man has to learn, governments are a continuum, right? So whenever you get grants or you get loans, it takes a matter of time, a matter of period for your projects to be laid out. Now, what says no? You see Honorable Cornwall went to Carriacou and they open a building up there? That is part of it. Let me come to this oil and gas thing now. The former Prime Minister did say yes, we follow oil and gas. But oil and gas means that you have to explore the right way of getting the oil, extracting the oil from the earth. Right? You have to put bids for rigs, oil rigs, all these things. Finding oil doesn't mean to say that you have to go and drill for it one time. It takes a lot of years, right? Investment, it takes tests, it takes studies. We on a volcano coastline, basically. So you must do all the feasibility tests and make sure that these things are not dangerous. There is oil in greater waters. There is oil in Trinidad. It will take time for us to get it, right? The man in line. So let me come to this data bill now. We have a bill that was passed in 2013 called the Electronics Act, which deals with child pornography, all these little things where you're sharing, all these things that you're not supposed to share, right? This bill is a totally different bill that they're bringing right now. All the government is saying that they want to go through the consultation, fine, they do amendments. So you're telling me King's Counsel Francis Alexis is dumb. You're telling me all the lawyers is dumb in Grenada when you want to consult with the people. You need to take this thing slowly. This thing where I hear Mr. Pierre, a gentleman real that he walked into DDCL. The man said it, and he can't doubt. The NDC mouthpiece said he walked in to DDCL and get people's phone number, minister's phone number. This guy goes so far as to call minister's number on his radio program with other permission. This law right now, I want to pass it. But people like Hiso were getting problems for the stupidness that he was doing. I'm glad I want to pass it, and I want to pass it swiftly because the nonsense will stop. Because if what he was doing was correct, and the government at the day right now, when there wasn't, not just opposition, but a party, wasn't saying nothing and they was glad, they are the ones that is releasing information. The PM, this present PM released a bank statement showing some $140,000, whatever. He breaking the law for himself as a leader, as a lawyer. So tell me who is wrong. Pass the NDC. Please pass that swiftly. Let's see who will benefit and who will not benefit. Have a good afternoon.
Yes, Scholar, thank you. One of the things I understand about passing laws, when you pass laws to catch people, normally you just fall in this trap. And the government tried to give the impression the bill was there in NNP time, it came in NDC time. Yes, Scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre. Yes, I agree that each and every one have the rights to voice their views and opinion. But I'm getting somewhat restless with one individual culture man. What I'm saying, he keep asking you questions. That's not the first time, and you keep asking him, and he's not answering whether yes or no, and keep going on and saying this one did it last year. This is somebody with, I don't want to get that from you have to stop that. If somebody's asking you a question and you're asking them...
Well, I advise him to ask the question last, so I could answer it off there. So I think next time you're going to say what you want to say and ask the question last.
And that's what they do, that's what... This don't make sense. Okay, sir. Oh.
Yes. Yeah, you see, we have had a long past. We must use the past to go forward better. The Prime Minister, it seems, he and other members of the National Democratic Congress sat in the lab and planned lies. They advocated that people should get $600. They quoted the World Health Organization. They chastised the previous government. When they come in power, they remove $150 from the people. The Prime Minister went to Tobago. Yes, Scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my boy, welcome.
Well, Mr. Pierre, the campaign, they go legalize marijuana. Right, sir? Marijuana bill had the first reading in the House already. Yeah? Any? The marijuana bill had the first reading, and the campaign that they go legalize marijuana. Right? Did they forget that to bring that bill? And what the bill they bring come? Who themselves admitted when they was in power, same party. Thank you, sir.
Yes, scholar, this is what they say. It seems as though that the National Democratic Congress sat down in a room and planned a series of lies that I call a pile of lies. And they brought it forth to the public that was very attractive. The bill was placed in the House for the first reading with the concern with marijuana. To what extent we would liberalize marijuana? The government said we're going to legalize it. We're going to legalize it. The lawyer that like weed is start to jump up. We're going to legalize it. Now the government come in power. They have enough time. A child could have born during the period of time that the government come. Legalize marijuana. Now they're changing them out. The government went to Grand State. The minister and the permanent secretary, they complimented the individuals in Granba for their hard work. They identified Granba Estate as a suitable estate for growing weed. I know because I spoke to two of the workers. They're happy, they're glad because they're going to get permanent work and they expect their pay to rise because the government identify the estate as growing weed. Next thing, they fire them. They fire 30 members on the estate and they leave 4. Now, this thing is not supposed to happen in 2023. The government of Grenada seems to be telling a pile of lies. No, the media must ask the Prime Minister of Grenada to explain what he means by restorative justice. He said, we campaign on transformation, but it is not so much transformation, it is restorative justice. And then we're hearing about detoxification and sanitization. The Minister of Social Affairs, she promised, she gave the parliamentary representative she would, that she's going to re-employ the people in the caregivers. I think it's about 10, 11 women. She said the one in charge, I would not take her. They gave the one in charge the responsibility to inform the others to come back to work except her. And then the word on the ground now, the minister has changed her word and they claim she firing them one by one. Now tell me how that could be right. These people are working for under $700 a month. The people on Granby Estate, they must be making under $800 a month. The workers from Marybo, about 10 of them, that involved in source up management, at least the minister, before he fired them, he could have bring them to doctor and let them test for the LD50 in the body. He work in pest management half his life. He work among the commodity boards for the next half of his life. And he on the third half as a politician. So he knows that these individuals was not test for the LD50 in the body because they claim the test expensive. Well, if you fire in them now, you could at least make them do the last test to test the LD50 in their body. You send them home, cook Jane a pie. You send them home. The over 300 workers that was involved in this school. Look at the manner in which the Prime Minister of Grenada, the dismissive manner in which he fought on their employment and refused to pay them. And the Minister of Labor, I ask you, what's wrong these people have done you? Over 300 of them. I asked the Attorney General, What wrong these people have done you? Madam Minister in the Senate, what wrong over 300 people have done you? When you spoke and you claimed that they would not be paid, your demeanor and your was as if you had an orgasmic experience. What wrong these people have done you all? Now, this should not be taking place in Grenada today. We have enough history to know the consequences of victimization. We're supposed to know. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
I'm listening to the program, and I keep saying to the Grenadian people that Mr. Deacon Mitchell, right now as the sitting Prime Minister in Grenada, he never loved Grenadians. His whole accomplishment, that whole thing with him is accomplishment, because he has said it clearly. He told the former Prime Minister that I beat you once in court already, I beat you the second time, and I will come and beat you now. Now, this is accomplishment. He go right back. He remind me of Donald Trump in 2016. Because I remember in the 80s, Donald Trump had an interview on Fox, and he said that he accomplished everything in life already. And the last thing he has to accomplish is to be the president of America. But he also go on and said that when he make up his mind to do that, he will never come on a Democratic ticket. He will come on a Republican ticket. And I remember vividly, the guy asked him why. And he said, the Republican is the dumbest set of people he come across. And he lead me right back to Mr. Deacon Mitchell. Now, if he had to come to get himself involved in politics, he could not have come on an NNP ticket, no way, to get to be leader of the in NNP. So listen, he don't love people. He come there and he there like that is just accomplishment. That is why you see all this stupidness going on. Because if you don't love and you don't care, you don't expect to execute nothing else. So when I sit and I listen to Mr. Deacon lie and lie and lie, and I mean, his supporters I want to call and trying to pin something. Now listen, lie has one definition. You lie, you lie. You want to condemn the former Prime Minister, oh, he used to lie. Not to ask him, the young man that called. When he who speak, when the present Prime Minister lying now, you asking him, he's trying to justify something without not even no sense. Lie just mean lie. Because listen, Mr. Pierre, before I go, that 150 they removed, I was shocked to know Mr. Deacon moved that. You know why? He campaigned on better living standard, eradicate poverty. So when the former government had put on that 150 with the $300, you come now in office and you want to tell me it was political gimmick and it was for 6 months and it was for a year and I was just a nonsense. What I am saying, you didn't supposed to remove it. You're supposed to add on more because you campaign on better living standard, eradicate poverty. What does better living standard mean? What does it mean, Mr. Prime Minister? You need to tell me. And he lies a lot. And when you talk to some of the supporters, you're talking like nonsense because you support party. It's nothing about party now. Let us get to the issue. Because even the same advocate they have on that radio station that have his program, according to the call, young man who called, I want the bill passed for him because he used to be very clear on his program, saying that any information he wants from any ministry, he could get it. He used to have financial statement reading out. Now, Pebbletown, they're in the hot seat now. They want to muzzle everybody mouth. This same information that same man on this radio station was bringing out, that is one of the reasons they're there. Because he's bringing it to them. Come on, NBC have to wake up and smell the coffee. And they can't talk to me, Mr. Pierre, because I have facts for them.
Yes, I think it's we have a lot of history in Grenada. So we must use the history to do better. Politicians used to excite the truth and say things. We reached to a stage as we turning back the hand of the clock. The government lying in pile. Sometimes a politician excite the truth. Sometimes they make it look as if it will happen today when it will happen next year. Eric Gary used to say, the difficult things we do now, the impossible, we will do it tomorrow. So when Eric Gary came and he said he's going to have Expo 69, and they say, uncle, in 2 years, Gary went to Canada and he saw something like an expo in Canada in 67. So he planned to have it in 69 here. When people say that is impossible, he said the difficult thing is now, the impossible will do tomorrow. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Pierre. Well, I cannot disappoint you because I will tell you, I mean,
just a little louder for us. We can't hear.
the beginning of the Lenten season.
You have to put the mic closer to you.
The beginning of the Lenten season, and it started off so well. And I would have thought that probably you would try to, stay in the spiritual kind of mood. Could I leave out the political kind of a vibe? I mean, but anyway, that it is what it is, and I'm sorry to see that every day we like crabs in a barrel just pulling down one another. But man, I don't know. I don't find he was so wrong that people have to criticize him so much. But at the same time, I mean, I just hoping that we're in the Lenten season, man, and we all must keep on fighting. I saw a clip yesterday with 2 school children, cutlass passing and whatnot. I mean, we have so many things that we could discuss and to try to change, in the country, because we have gone very lawless. And so, thank you very much anyway.
Thank you, caller. Caller, you could always introduce subject matter on my program. You can always introduce something you want to speak about. But the actions of this government is not easy to leave it, caller. Caller, let me give you a short story. You could ask my friend Manjam from Ticolo. They sent Manjam in jail for 6 months. And I wonder, well, why the woman had bring up Manjam crying? Because he touched the bottom. So I went to her to find out the story. The guys on the block, they bet Manjam that he can't touch the woman. You see, he was with her before, but the revolution sent him in jail. He was a Rastafarian. So after 3 years and months in jail, Manjam, the kingpin in Ticolo, come back up, raggy-daggy, half mad. So the guys on the block see the woman passing with her white pants and tell Manjam you could only watch it, you can't touch it. So he go and touch the bottom. She bring him up. The magistrate give him 6 months. He plead guilty. And then she tell the magistrate just want him. But the woman, she nice as gold. She like a sapodilla at ripe in shade. She like a peel onion. And she have a Volkswagen engine. If it was me, I send him in jail too. So you see, caller, because of the revolution, he went to jail. He was a Rastafarian, he did no wrong. And when he come back in the community, the individuals play with the head. And the magistrate was not tolerant to him. The magistrate was insensitive. He showed no compassion. Although the woman cried, those sent him in jail. My brother, if we are finding people that was working and we sending them home without justification, without explanation, we are sowing the seed of discord in our society. During this Lenten season is the correct time to speak about it. One hope that Deacon Mitchell would have some compassion Why is it we are introducing restorative justice, detoxification, and sanitization among people? Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes.
Good afternoon. I would really for Grenadians to take the Bible and read 2 Timothy chapter 3. And I will just give a small piece of it. And it says that is a prophecy. He said, but know this, that in the last days perilous times will come. For men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. When we look at what's happening in Grenada today, the evidence is in that scripture that we are in the last days, because when we look at the advantage that are being taken on the less fortunate in society, and we have people enjoying it, God help us. Have a good day.
Yes, caller, but caller, the Bible also say the harvest is great, but the laborers are few. The harvest is great. The harvest is great, but the laborers are few. So when you see wrong things going on, you could speak up about it. So this is why I speak about the 300 workers that is home now, eating, stewing, and sunsas. The 30 workers from Paradise Estate that has been set up. You told them they was performing good, then you fired them. The 10 workers from Maryville that you sent home, at least you could have let them do the test to find out the LD50 in the pocket, in the body. The women of Karakou and the women of Pause and the caregivers that the government is firing. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, how are you?
Great, man.
Well, I'm good too. Yeah, don't worry, the commissioner. Tell the adopted child right now. He didn't work for nothing. He's an adopted child. It's impersonal. It's a problem, but so when you get to them.
Your phone giving some trouble. I don't know if it's the internet or the location where you are.
Well, I know. But
is WhatsApp you using?
No, I can't.
Okay.
Yes, man, he's asking. And
all right, okay. Thank you, caller. Yes, the caller is making a good point there, but it's difficult for us to hear it. And this is a Lenten season. I think it is the correct time for Grenadians to recognize that victimization in this country is a serious thing. After the revolution, there are some parents that refuse to let their children come back home. After the revolution, there are some women that just have to come and pick up the things and move. The men was tolerating them because they're afraid they get jailed. I saw people spit on other people in Grenada after the revolution. Remember, we line up people and we took advantage on them. This level of victimization that is going on in Grenada now, if we don't speak out against it, it would be institutionalized. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr.
And that's we lost, caller. You got a punch.
Okay, Mr. Pierre, you was always called Holland Green. I want to Green and really stolen in truth. In 2008, right? When they tell them, man, them Ubi below give them 400. And look, 15 years later, see, back going for one, take out 150, Watch. If they can't do give back them people their money. But that is time, If you want to pray, you give back them people their money. Bless you, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, Dick is only not giving back the money. You see, we have to understand there's a bigger picture in Grenada. Dick is not really the big picture. The big picture is us. We treat people who are less fortunate than us very badly. We look at the language we use. We say people are needy and greedy. You say government showing money. The government removed $150 from people. And some people calling on the radio and say, it's good, let us go and pump stone in the river. Some people say that people drinking rum. There are women in their home that not drinking rum. And there are more women on this program than men. I make it my duty not to really speak about men. That is why I refer to the 5 women in Paraclete in 2008 that the government removed from the program. Every time the National Democratic Congress come in power, the elderly, the marginalized, and disadvantaged children is negatively affected. Every time they come in power, as soon as they come in power, they know that they must get the support of these people to win election. So they sit down in a lab and they plan lies. Well, this time was a pile of lie. Because they said everybody will be made pumped. Mr. Cornwall, who worked in the ministry, he said there is no need for parallel service. Deacon Mitchell tell them he go champion the cause, he go fight for them. He quoted the World Health Organization to justify that he's going to give them $600. The Minister of Social Affairs gave the parliamentary representative award that the individuals in the giving program, she will keep them except the coordinator. And these people say it seems that she find them one by one. They even afraid to talk to me now, you know. They just hide to tell me anything because they afraid for them to see them talking to me. Look at what the Minister of Labor did to the Labor Commissioner. I understand they saw the woman and some people talking. They said them people is NNP. And when they investigate, the woman have a lot of relatives that is NNP and some of she friends. So within 48 hours, they fire from the Labor Commission. When you start to do that in a small country like ours, you're looking for serious problem. You go break up the villages like a creeks. You cannot support victimization at that level. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Mr.
Yes.
And how are you?
Great.
I'm going to punch quickly.
Yeah.
Mr. Pierre, that bill what they produced, they give chewing on the throat of the Grenadian people, it's a very frightening bill. We have to look at that bill very carefully. The aspect of that bill that is to interfere with our basic human rights. That means they have all the right to come in your house and whatever equipment they see, they take it away from you. Everything in your house, whatever you say, they're interfering with it. That's your basic human right. The bill does no consultation with the people. The bill was drafted since 2011, Mr. Pierre. The policy was to use in the OECS. It was a drafted bill to have to look over on all the OECS country, like St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada, etc. So that bill was there since 2011. NDC didn't touch it. NMP came and they never touched it. NMP came back again and they never touched it. Now this NDC coming and they touched the bill because that suit their purpose. This bill was for the legal department to work on. It's also work on that bill in the process to come up with the final draft. So they have every right to consult with the people because that bill now we coming just like Russia. You have no human rights. You come in like Korea. They'll see you on the street, and if they will look at you, they see what you're doing, what is wrong, they could arrest you. They listen to you. They're planting devices in your home. They listen to your conversation. They come in anytime like secret policemen arrest you. They put a lot of heavy burden on a minister. So the minister got every right to come and do everything. Whatever he say, that's what they will do. So we as Grenadian people, don't take that bill lightly. It's the depth of the bill you have to look at. Not what they're saying, is the depth. Don't think it's just an easy foil data this and data that. No. Look at the depth of the bill, what it consists of. So that's what we have to cut, because it will put you in problem, your children, your grandchildren, every one of them. So we as a people have to be very, very careful with that bill. It will take away our rights. We'll be scared, we'll be frightened. So let us try now, let us do something about the bill. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I believe that normally when governments pass these laws, it's going to just backfire on them. The government must be targeting, speeding up the process of the bill to target a couple people who they believe are speaking the truth on radios. But it's going to backfire on them. That's what always happens. When you go on hurry, past these victimization laws of convenience, it will backfire on you. Yes, you may trap one of people who you believe do not support, but the same bill is going to come back to haunt you. This is why the NDC never interfered with it in 2010-11. This is why the NP find they give it on a back burner. So although there are some aspects of the bill that are good, the power that are given to individuals, they could use it for victimization purpose. And that is why Mitchell and his government not want to discuss it. But I have no fear. It cannot stop people from speaking the truth. And the same bill will backfire on the NDC, perhaps in a shorter time than they believe. It is not necessary for us to be in the position we are in. We have enough history. We have seen what happened in the 70s and the repercussions. We have seen what happened in the 80s. We have enough history to make comparison to be a better government and better people. When you victimize people on the ground, you see the teachers have a strong union. So the government cannot do much damage to the teachers or to permanent officers. You see them to fire one person from customs. It backfired because the union is very strong. So they on to the parallel service. But what these young juveniles, these political juveniles don't understand, the consequences and the impact of victimization on that ground have serious problems for everybody. You see the violence level in Jamaica and Trinidad and St. Lucia. Our attitude contribute to that. When you deprive people at that level of a job, remember, they don't have discretionary income. The labor market is sluggish. Government is the biggest employer. They're going to go and hunt. Let us go back to the 70s. In Gary days, he tell them, go and hunt. Don't starve. Go and hunt. Whole crayfish, whole manikou, whole tattoo, whole guana, hunt. The government must come to the conclusion that when you have high unemployment in a country, everybody is affected. Not only the economy, everybody is affected. So you see, if my brother Willie was not radicalized, he might have able to advise the government But he joined a group of people. He get radicalized, so it's difficult to reach the government. So people have to speak out. And particularly, some of the NDC moderates, they're supposed to know that when you victimize people on the ground and you deny them jobs and you deny them opportunities, hell to rule. My greatest fear, that victimization don't become entrenched in the schoolhouse and children are victimized too. That is my greatest fear. There are some people who are in better position academically, discretionary income, and they have the knowledge of how invaluable education is, and they're going to protect the children. But when you live in a society where 70% of the children is not making it, not reaching the basic requirement in school, and you have a government that institutional victimization, and the government is talking about detoxification and sanitizing and restorative justice, that environment could reach a boiling point. So it is in the interest of all and sundry to warn the government that a cutting cloth they cannot sew. And what they will eventually do is to ruin the economy of the country and cause serious social problems and social decadence. And everybody then have to pay the price. Look at what is going on in Haiti and Jamaica. Look at the violence level in St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Lucia. No, calling for special SSU and trying to pass laws in parliament. That can save them. They sow seed of discord among the low-income group, and they have angry people level. So we do hope that Dick Mitchell don't stick in his ears and explain to us what he means by restorative justice and why he believes he must tell a pile of lies. We're back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1. Another opportunity to continue our program on target and to encourage you to express your views and opinion. And we have to show tolerance to those who do not agree with us. Thank you very much.
Triple N.